Okay, there we go. We're all ready. So, I'll just give a little overview of what we're doing, and then we're gonna jump right into it because it's gonna take some time today. So, um, let's see here. So the first thing I'm gonna invite you into is to find your well, first of all, if you're here, I'd love to know how familiar you are with tarot. Do you know tarot? Is it new to you? Specifically, let me know if any of you are new to tarot, and I will do a brief overview that I did last week. But if all of you are familiar, then I won't really take the time for that. So let me know if you're new to tarot and you don't really know anything about it, and I can do that. And then we will go to help you find your tarot birth cards. And then we're going to go through all 22 cards of the major arcana. And in particular, focusing on your own birth cards and seeing how that energy has been woven throughout your life so far. And at the end, if we have time, I will pull one of the major arcana cards and we'll do just a short, like 5 to 10 minute meditation to connect with that energy of that card for us. You've had readings before, but would appreciate an overview. Okay, Farah, yeah. So quickly, let's talk. What is the tarot? And this is a 6-week series that I'm doing. And so last week was our what is the tarot. So I went into a lot more detail about what it is. So this is just like the little brief 2-minute version about what the tarot is. So the tarot is, a deck of cards that has usually 78 cards in it. And it is symbolizing an archetypal map of consciousness that we explore throughout our lives. So in these 78 cards, the first 22 are the major arcana. So that's these cards that we're going to be going through today. The major arcana are the overall, like, big picture, sort of like big energy, those energies that that go through our life, that make like changes, things that shift and change how we know ourselves, shift and change our beliefs, those types of things. That's like the major arcana, and what a lot of people call the Fool's Journey, because the very first card is the Fool. The card number 0 is the Fool, and so it's sort of this idea of this person, the Fool, journeying through all of these different archetypal energies in their lifetime. And so that's the first 22 cards. The other 56 cards are split into 4 different suits: the Wands, Cups, Swords, and Pentacles. And they are numbered 1 through 10, and then 4 court cards, usually the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King. And the minor arcana, that's those 56 cards of the minor arcana, are more like the smaller picture, detailed, day-to-day situations. So the what's happening right now that I need to figure out. And the major arcana is like the big life questions and energies, that what's happening in this season of life, sort of energy. And like I said last week, like, I do not use tarot for fortune telling, because our futures are they're not set in stone. So using tarot to shine a light on things that we are unaware of, things in our subconscious, as a way to become aware of those, and make decisions from that place of empowerment, that now we are aware of what this energy is around this situation or around this question. And so that's how I read personally. Okay. that was a short overview, but I really want to get into our session today so we can get through all 22 cards. I'm first going to help you. We're going to find our tarot birth cards. So we need to do a little bit of math. You might want a piece of paper and a pen, or typing it in your device, however you want to write it. But we're going to do some math. So here we are, tarot birth cards, and this example is mine. But what we're going to do, you're going to put the 2 digits of your month. So my birthday is in March, so I have 03. Then the date. So mine is 23rd, next Wednesday. So you have 3, 23, and then the year you're going to split into 2. So the first 2 digits, 19, second 2 digits, 85. So you have these 4 numbers, 3, 23, 19, 85, and then add those up. And let me know once you've finished adding those up, and I could help anybody that needs guidance for that. Some of you will get 2 digits and some will get 3 digits. So it just depends. All right, we got 116, 108. Yeah. 138. Great. So once you have your digits here, your 3 digits, if you have 3 digits, you're going to split it up in the first 2 plus the third. So mine is 130. So I'm going to do 13 plus 0 equals 13. So like Katie, you'll do 11 plus 6. Aaron, also 11 plus 6 until you get 17. And then for those of you that have 2 digits, or when you get to a 2-digit number, you're going to add those 2 numbers together. So 13, 1 plus 3 is 4. Yeah, so Lima, you'll do 9 plus 5. Dawn, you'll do 6 plus 6. So then you want both of these numbers. So everybody will have 2 birth cards, except for if you get 19. If you get 19, you get 3 birth cards. So anybody that gets the number 19, you get 19, 10, and 1. For everybody else, we just get two cards. So my birth cards are 13 and 4. So Farah, yours are 9 and 18. All right, anybody else, anybody need help, guidance with that? 17 and 8, beautiful. Oh, Lynn, you got my numbers too. Excellent. Yeah, we're gonna go into that. I definitely know these are my birth cards because I definitely feel these energies throughout my whole life. 21 and 3, beautiful. Abby, your number was 777. So you do 7 plus 7 is 14. So your numbers would be 14 and 5. Because then you do 14 and then 4 plus 1 is 5. 14 and 5. Excellent. Anybody else need help with that? Anybody else? 115 total, 11 plus 5. Yep. 17 and 8. Yep. All right. So you can keep putting in the chat if you need some guidance and help, but let's dive into the Fool's Journey just so that we have time to get through all 22 cards today. So we're gonna start the very beginning with the Fool. Now the Fool is 0. Nobody has a full the full birth card, because it is the Fool's Journey. You yourself are the Fool, and it's not a bad thing. You know, a lot of times the word fool gets a has bad connotations, but It's not a bad thing at all. The energy of the Fool is like the energy of when you are first born. So this, we can also look at these 22 cards as a whole life as you age and mature and learn more and more about yourself. So the energy of the Fool is like that newborn baby, that innocence, being vulnerable, maybe being a bit naive. It means you're not taking in all of the information. You're sort of just like seeing what is available to you. And kind of like unaware of the life's challenges and unaware of your own power, your own power that you hold. But it's like dropping into the unknown. You see here in this card, dropping into the unknown, the holding of the universe, like without any fears. Without any fears, without much anxiety, you're just like ready to start something new, ready for an adventure, a new beginning, being spontaneous, and like just like letting it all hang out there as you journey into this new way of being. So as we go through these cards, start thinking in your life, you know, because these are pointing to big archetypal energies that have happened in all of our lives. So like, where has this energy been in your life? This energy of the Fool, where you just started off on a new beginning, like just like full force ahead, not really thinking about any cause and effect consequences, like just going into that unknown new space, being spontaneous with it, just like the whole world is for me, and I'm ready to go. Moving across the country for grad school. Yep, that is definitely the energy of the Fool. That energy for those of you in a culture that, you know, leave your parents' house after high school and go off to college, that's the energy of the Fool. When I chose to leave the States and move to India 12 years ago, that was definitely the energy of the Fool. I was just like, all about it. Let's go for it. Yeah. So it is the Fool then that is starting this journey, right? Starting this journey and going to learn all of these life lessons along the way in the other remaining 21 cards. And so thinking about you yourself when you started that new journey, and now we're going to go through all of the lessons that you might have learned along the way. Leaving leaving a job, yeah, changing jobs, that's definitely a Fool energy. Really, those like big shifting changes that bring new beginnings, definitely. Okay. Moving across the country for it, yeah. Especially, yeah, if you're doing those things all together. Yes, that's what I did as well. Okay, so let's go. For those of you that got number 1, and this, oh, what I wanted to say. So this deck is called the Lightseer's deck, from Chris Ann. And in the book, she puts an affirmation for each card. So I'm going to read the affirmation for each card as well. So before I forget, the Fool's affirmation is, I awaken my soul path and I am ready for adventure. I awaken my soul path and I am ready for adventure. Okay, so moving on to the Magician. The Magician is now where you're beginning to realize your own natural gifts and skills, like that unique contribution that you give to the world. And this is sort of coming into understanding that I myself have power, right? I have power to make changes. I have power to make decisions. This idea of the ability to manifest, to be creative, and come into that space of transformation. And you'll see in this deck, there's the four elements here: air, earth, fire. It's hard to see, but see if I can get my camera to focus on it. There we go. You see those there, the 4 elements. So it's sort of like I am using these elements of the environment, the elements of the earth, and I'm harnessing them together to create what I desire. So thinking about those times in your life that you have done that as well, that you've like realized your power and you were able to manifest and create whatever you desired. That is the energy of the magician. It's that energy of like, I'm creating something out of, nothing, but it is that you're creating from that energy that you hold from within you. So the affirmation for the magician is, I manifest the life I desire through energy and intention. I manifest the life I desire through energy and intention. All right. Number 2. You got a 2. You've got the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is similar to the magician, right? Knowing your own inner power, but now we are awakening to that spiritual divine connection. Connecting deeply to intuition, listening to that inner voice, that divine consciousness, and really just like following your instincts. This is where you stop looking for answers outside of yourself and you start to really trust what is within. Trust what is within in connection to any sort of like dreams or visions that you get. This is connected to the energy of meditation and seeing those synchronicities fall into place. That's the energy of the High Priestess. So thinking about those times in your life that you got an intuitive insight and you just trusted that. You trusted that guidance and you followed that instinct to towards whatever it was you were being called towards. That is the energy of the High Priestess. Number 2. So the High Priestess affirmation is, faith is laced in my intuitive heart, and I have the answers I seek. Faith is laced in my intuitive heart, and I have the answers I seek. Excellent. And at any time, if any of these cards like really resonate with something in your life, please share that with us so that we can have some real life examples as well. So moving on to number 3. Number 3 is the Empress. This is a pretty obvious one here. We have this person pregnant with the world. So the Empress. The Empress is holding the energy of creating life. It can be connected to physical fertility. There's a mosquito in my way. To your physical fertility, but it's also this idea of birthing yourself, right? Birthing yourself, birthing your projects, birthing a world that you want to see come to life. That is the energy of the Empress. It also connects to these energies of sensuality, to nurturing, empathy, abundance, unconditional love, sort of all these like nurturing, caregiving qualities. And so the times in your life, think about those times in your life where you were birthing, something new. I think of, I'm child free at the moment, and but I was in the Empress energy when I was beginning my business. I birthed my business a few years ago, and that's something that, came through me that I created to put out into the world. So that's the energy of the Empress. So the affirmation for the Empress. I give birth to my abundantly rich future. I give birth to my abundantly rich future. All right. So, number 4. This is one of my birth cards, and was it Lynn? Lynn, yeah, this is one of our birth cards. The Emperor. So, the Empress and the Emperor, they're sort of like they are the complementary energies together. What I call the solar and lunar energies. The Emperor is one of leadership. Leadership, strength and power, structure and solidity, really like that foundation that you can rely on. This often talks about, a business person or somebody that is just making their own way in the world. I'm really like setting that course for themselves. This is also speaking to those times where you came into a more strategical or analytical thinking to make decisions and taking action. This is when you are put in a place of authority or of responsibility, like, coming into that leadership, no matter what it looks like, even being like responsible for people in your family, responsible for people in your job, however that may be, in your communities, and the energy of success. That's the Emperor. So, for me, I'll just share that this energy, I am, my birthday is next Wednesday. I'm at the very beginning of the Aries. And so I'm a double Aries, Sun and Moon Aries. And that energy, and I was also born the day after the new moon. And so both of like those energies bring these leadership qualities. It's like I have I've just never been afraid to like be the first one to go and do something. And just sort of like make my own way. I don't usually like to follow along with what other people are doing. I'm fine blazing my own trail. And have been put in places in places of leadership. Just naturally, people have invited me to step up into those leadership roles in my life, and I tend to thrive there. And so, like, I feel the card deeply within me. Pooja, oh, we have the same birthday. Lovely. Yes, beautiful. Oh, our affirmation. Affirmation for the Emperor. I lead my evolution with confidence, authority, and generosity. I lead my evolution with confidence, authority, and generosity. Okay. Number 5. Those of you that had number 5. We are in the traditional tarot. This is called the Hierophant. And in this deck, Chris-Anne renames it the Keeper of the Sacred, which I really enjoy that shift, because I don't actually even know what the word Hierophant means. I mean, I know the energy of it. I just don't know what that specific word, where it comes from. But number 5, the Keeper of the Sacred, is the energy of a spiritual guide or teacher, learning powerful lessons, and taking time to this is the time where you want to rely on your faith, on your trust, really trusting in that faith that you have. And this is a card of awakening, a card of transcendence. And this can talk both about, if this card comes up for you in a reading, it could talk about your actual spiritual guide or teacher. So somebody that is you're coming into a relationship with that will mentor you and guide you to where you want to go. But this card also talks about this within ourselves and recognizing that we have within us those abilities to guide and teach ourselves through these lessons as well. So number 5, the Hierophant, Keeper of the Sacred. Our affirmation is, I am my own teacher and my highest guidance is rooted in faith. I am my own teacher and my highest guidance is rooted in faith. All right. So up until now, most of the cards have been individual experiences. When we get to number 6, we're now inviting others into the experience. So we have the Lovers, number 6. So the Lovers, pretty obviously, the energies that connect to the Lovers is your love life, your relationships. It can also be friendships as well. It's really any relationship that there is a love between you. And connecting to these ideas of union, bringing together like opposite energies, but usually like opposite but complementing energies, finding those shared values, shared decisions, coming into harmony with one another. And yeah, these like unions that you have in life. So things like when you entered into a committed relationship with somebody, when you got married, those energies are the Lovers. Michelle, oh, this is one of your birth cards, the 6. Lovely. But also sometimes this can talk about what's happening within you as well. Having these, if this is your birth card, thinking about those times where you felt like there were opposing, you felt like there were these two different ways of being within you. And when you were able to bring them together into harmony, those places where you felt just in union with yourself and with the world around you. And just that deep love and trust and care, that we can even have for ourselves. That is still the energy of the Lovers. And if this is your birth card, that's sort of like what you're invited to figure out in this lifetime, how you can be that in that place of love and harmony and balance. So our Lovers affirmation. My heart is open to deeply meaningful connection and I am expansive. My heart is open to deeply meaningful connection and I am expansive. So that was definitely the energy of my relationship. I like to think so. Okay. So we're going still with this energy of connecting these two forces together with the Chariot and number 7. So the Chariot now is taking these two forces, and once we've harnessed them together, once we've connected them together, using that to move forward. This forward motion and really like having this drive and determination, like setting your sights on something and gathering all of the forces you need together to get yourself there. And they may be opposing forces, right? We've got the dark and the light, combining the dark and the light together to get to where you want to go. This can talk about upcoming success, like really working towards that, moving fast towards your success. Integrating your shadows, right? Because we want to integrate those shadows into the light so that we can move forward. Because often those shadows, if we keep them in the unconscious, they keep us stuck, right? So it's becoming aware of those shadows so that we can take steps forward. This can also talk about literal travel, right? Literal travel, but also this feeling like having confidence. Like I confidently know that that's where I want to go, and I'm gonna I'm gonna use everything that I need to get there, not being really afraid of that forward motion. So our chariot affirmation: I choose who I am becoming, and I run towards it with conviction. I choose who I am becoming, and I run towards it with conviction. Number 7, the chariot. So think about those times in your life where you really just set your eyes on a goal, and you just worked towards it, made it happen. Okay, we've got number 8, strength. Number 8, strength. So the strength card is obviously strength. It's obviously talking about the strength that we have, right? But it's not really talking about this sort of like physical, like brute force strength that we need to get through. It's talking really about this this inner strength that we have within us. This ability to be courageous and deal with whatever life gives us, right? Some things happen, in life. A lot of it is sort of, these outside forces that we don't have much control over. We just have control about how we experience those, about how we react in our actions that we take because of those. Strength is the energy to stay calm in the midst of the chaos, right? It's this purity of mind and heart. It's this deep sense of I know I'm going to be okay. I know that I have the strength and the courage and the ability to be okay no matter what comes my way. Sort of that gracefulness, gentleness, that you don't have to show yourself, right? You don't have to show your strength to anybody else because you know where your strength lies within. So, thinking about those times in your life where everything felt chaotic around you, but yet you knew deep within that it was going to be okay, and you were able to maintain a sense of calm and peace. The affirmation for strength: I deliberately shine my compassion and strength. I deliberately shine my compassion and strength. All right, so number 8, we're almost halfway through. Number 9, for those of you that got the birth card 9, wondering if you're an introvert. Number 9, the hermit, that is the ideal sort of introvert energy. So the hermit is spending time alone. All right, see if something else comes through for you, Vara. So spending time alone. This is also a card of if you are a spiritual person, it is that sense of knowing that your inner, being guided by that inner wisdom, taking time out to really contemplate, meditate, because you know that your inner wisdom, your inner guidance is the way forward. So it's not just you know, literally being alone and going in. It's this not letting the noise of the outside world guide you. It's letting the inner wisdom guide you. And but usually in this space of like finding that quiet and solitude from within, and knowing that in that quiet space within is where the answers lie. And the hermit is one of experience, one of wisdom. So it's like using everything you have experienced in your life so far, and knowing that all of those lessons you've gone through, everything you've been through, that is what is, you know, that is what is building your wisdom. So coming to that space where you're not seeing things that have happened in your life in a, you know, this was good, this was bad, this was positive, this is negative. It's like, no, this was my whole experience, and I'm in a place where I know that that's how I've become who I am. So it's just like this deep inner knowing, that nothing can really lead you astray, because you're guided by your own inner wisdom. So the affirmation for the hermit is, I witness my brightly lit heart. I witness my brightly lit heart. And that brightly lit heart is the light that guides you forward. So, Cara, did any of that resonate with you? I have become much more a hermit the older that I get. I definitely, I am an extrovert, but I definitely love my alone time, and I need my time of quiet and solitude to really like hear what is within, thinking about it. Yeah. And you can you can look up these cards as well, because I'm just giving sort of like a brief overview of the energies, and there's much more nuance and things that go with it. Hello, Rose. All right, so we're moving on to number 10. Number 10. Number 10, we've got the wheel. And in the traditional tarot, it's called the Wheel of Fortune. We just call it the wheel here, number 10. So the wheel, we are coming to this place of knowing that nothing is permanent, right? Nothing is permanent. Everything is always changing. And, you know, we can never be in this perpetual state of positivity or negativity. It's always moving. The cycles are always moving. There is this overarching cycle of life, death, rebirth, and it's constantly moving and going around. And that, in that energy, this sense of like being able to be present. Like, I can be present with what is now, because I know tomorrow this is not going to be here. So even if I'm feeling really terrible today, like, it's okay, because it's going to change. If I'm feeling really positive today, I'm grateful for that, because it could get worse later. You know, anything could happen as we continue moving, right? Nothing is set in stone, nothing is permanent. But also the wheel comes with this energy of sort of like your destiny or your fate, and connected to luck, being a lucky person, right? There's some of those people that just seems that the cards fall into their favor a lot. They might have the birth card of the wheel, but it's just really this sense of like knowing you're lucky, because here in the moment, this is what is available for you, and it's going to change. Continuing on with that cycle. So, the wheel affirmation. With every spin, I expand. With every spin, I expand. Or as I would say it, because of my work, I'd say with every cycle. With every cycle, I expand. So that idea, every time it moves around, it goes around. Every time I die and am reborn, I'm expanding who I am. So number 10. Oh, hi, Sib. Okay, we've got a birthday on Friday. Oh, Sib, your birthday's on Friday. Excellent. We are on two different sides of the astrology. You are the end and I am the beginning. My birthday is on Wednesday. Okay, halfway through. Let's get to our halfway point. We've got justice. All right, I'm trying to go a little bit faster. So justice. This is the energy of cause and effect. Like knowing that everything you're doing now is creating the future that is coming. Everything that has happened in your past is creating the present you are in. So it's all of these causes and effect, making sure you are choosing and deciding what you want to do now, because it is going to unfold into what will happen tomorrow. And so you see that sort of like in this energy of like the past and the present, and integrating those. Seeking truth and fairness. So obviously with the term justice, it's sort of like seeing all sides of the picture and not letting one be more biased or the other, like standing in a neutral stance, just taking in everything you can see with fairness and truth, and having the integrity to not let things sway you in one way or the other. You're holding all perspectives that you're able to hold, all the pieces that you're able to hold, and being accountable to that. That how a legal judicial system should be, even though it's not usually like that in the world that we live in, but how it is set up to be unbiased, just seeking what is fair and the truth. If you have this as a birth card, it could literally mean that legal matters are a part of your life. Things that you've had to deal with legally, or just that sense of like coming from a position in your life where you are seeing all sides of the story, and not being swayed by other things, and realizing that cause and effect, right? Everything you've experienced in the past has created who you are today. Everything you're doing today is creating who you will be tomorrow. Justice. So, the affirmation for justice. I walk in alignment with my higher self. I walk in alignment with my higher self. Okay. Yeah, Sid, my birthday's on Wednesday. Thank you, Rose. Yeah. If somebody's here and knows how to calculate, could you write in the comments for Sydney and Sib? If not, I'll do it again at the end, but we still got a lot of cards to go through. So, I'm gonna keep going, but if somebody else could help them out, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, so number 12. We've got the hanged man, or the hanged person, the hanged one, if you want to use, gender neutral terms. So the hanged one is the energy of, being in limbo. being in limbo, making sacrifices, letting go, releasing. This is the energy of making that choice to let go, making that choice to sacrifice. When we get later on into the tower energy is like the choice has been made for you because you held on too long. This is where, like, becoming aware of what is not supporting you, becoming aware of what is toxic in your life, and making the choice to let go and sacrifice. So think about those times in your life where you became aware of something that wasn't healthy for you, and you made the choice, like, I can't do that anymore. I need to let it go. I need to just sacrifice that in my life. Because it's holding me back, because it's holding me down and under that energy. This is also the energy like detaching from outcomes, right? So like surrendering that control that expectations have on you, that decisions have on you, just surrendering them to the universe. What comes will come, that sort of energy. And this can also talk about it's time to take a moment, pause and reflect. Pause and reflect of what has come, and really taking that, like, this is the energy of the autumn harvest, right? You pause, reflect, decide, what do I want to take with me? What do I want to let go? What do I want to let decay into the ground? That is the energy of the hanged person. So if this is your birth card, number 12, you might have been invited to doing this a lot in your life, to making that choice to sacrifice for your for your greater good. And just coming into an acceptance of what you have. So the affirmation, I lean into my world of limitless miracles. I lean into my world of limitless miracles. And I will say, if you want to, if you want to look more into your card or read the affirmations, if you go to the Lightseers Tarot website, Chris Ann has the description of every card on her site, and so you can go read more about it if you want to know more. Okay. All right. Hopefully you're figuring it out. Thank you, Farah, for doing that. Okay. Let's go into number 13. Lynn, if you're still here, this is our second birth card. So those of you that got number 13, like me. Oh, Sib, you just missed number 11. Number 11 is justice. Oh, interesting. And 2. So, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So it'd be number 2 and number 11. So number 13, though, death and rebirth. So in the traditional tarot, it's just called death, and a lot of people misunderstand that. So I like what Chris Ann did here and renamed it death and rebirth, right? Because again, connecting to that overarching cycle of life, death, and rebirth. It's always moving, always turning. We are dying and then letting something be reborn. Yeah, Sarah, if you scroll up, Farah was explaining how to do that. So death and rebirth, endings and new beginnings, just like it sounds, endings and beginnings. Realizing that all things must come to an end for anything to be reborn, right? All things must come to an end, and it's very fitting that, right, we're coming after the hanged one. So the hanged one is making a choice to sacrifice, to letting something end, because something new will be reborn from that. So letting something die so that something new can come. The energy of winter and spring, right? Winter is the death um, of the seasonal cycle, and rebirthing, coming into the spring. Um, Talking about transformation, right? The transformation that happens when we move through those endings and beginnings, transitions. So thinking about those times in your life where you made these transitions through something ending and something new beginning. Connected to that energy of the full, depending on how you entered into the rebirth, right? Some rebirths are messy and heavy and, full of anxiety and stress. That would be more of like, that like birthing process, right? That empress process. And some of them are like light and like, yes, like, oh, I'm so glad that is over. Like, let's go to something new, right? That's the full energy. But both of those, the death and rebirthing energy. So I know this it's very, very interesting that this is one of my birth cards, because my work, my work, the gifts that I've been given to share with the world is to connect to cycles as a cyclical living guide, and particularly through the menstrual cycle, and the menstrual phase of the menstrual cycle being the death and rebirth of the cycle. And so like this connection to like my blood connected to like my birth card of the death and rebirth, like I find that I absolutely love that. I didn't like it when I first found out that death was my card, but reframing it in that way really made it connect. So if you don't like your card when you first hear it, let it sit with you. Let it be a guide, a teacher, and see where it is inviting you into that you might not have seen before. So our affirmation for death and rebirth: I let go of the past and add energy to new beginnings. I let go of the past and add energy to new beginnings. Okay. Thank you all for helping each other out. Okay. Number 14, we've got temperance. Hmm. Temperance. This is coming to a place of um, coming to a place of peace, a place of patience. We have these two forces here. We have the lunar force, the solar force, and it's like finding the balance of those where you're in moderation, like with both of them. Not no force is really like dominant or taking over. You're finding that balancing, harmonious force between it all. Um, the ability to go with the flow. You're not really forcing things. It's not like, the emperor energy is like, and the chariot energy, that's like, I'm forcing things. I am pushing things forward. I'm using all of my might to get to where like I want to go. Temperance is that energy of, it's all right. It's all right. I'm just going to go the path of least resistance. I'm just going to go with the flow, and I'm going to have the calm and the patience to be with that energy. And so just taking things as they come, being able to be flexible with things that are thrown at you, and in a way where you can find the balance in the midst of all of that. Find the balance and the harmony in the midst of that. That is temperance. Number 14. So our affirmation is, I walk the middle path and nourish wholeness. I walk the middle path and nourish wholeness. If this is your birth card, like thinking about the times where you are like the mediator, right? You're like literally the middle person where you are like trying to find balance and harmony between the, two different beings or people or entities, whatever it may be. Those times where you're trying to find that peace. If you know the Enneagram, this would be a number 9 on the Enneagram would be temperance. All right, and then we get to another one of the most misunderstood cards in the deck, number 15, the Devil. So, the devil, again, a name, depending on the culture that you grew up in, that has very, very negative connotations with it, right? But let's look at this from a place of empowerment, because I really do see the devil as a card of empowerment. This is the energy, like thinking about the times in your life where you felt like you had no control, where you felt like the victim. You felt like everything was against you and you didn't have any power. Right? So you see, like, here's the devil and here's you. So you felt like somebody was pulling your strings, some force was pulling your strings, and you couldn't do anything about it, feeling like you had no options. This can also be like when something has the power over you, like if you've ever experienced any addictions, any sort of like temptations, obsessions, things that have control over you. That's the energy of the devil. Now, the empowering piece of that is that when the devil arrives in a reading, that is shining a light on that darkness, shining a light on that shadow, right? Because a lot of these things that, when you have an addiction, or when you are in a place of feeling like you have no control, where you are a victim, it's usually because something is in the unconscious that you can't see. Something is there holding on, deep in the roots. And so when the devil arrives, when the energy of the devil arrives, it's like, oh, here it is. It's like, I can face it now. Like, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it within myself. I'm seeing how I am in this position. And from that place, you get to come into your own power, right? And realize you are not a victim, that you have the power to change. And you can't realize that until the light has shined on it, right? You can't become aware of how to heal these things until you know what they are, right? Because things like addiction, they're not, um, when you have an addiction, it's from something else, right? It's something else that's inside that is fueling that addiction. And it's like really figuring out what is that, so that you can heal from it, because you can't heal if you don't know what it is, right? So that's the energy of the devil. It is a darker card, but it's through the darkness that you will be able to come out into the light, which is the affirmation for the devil. In the darkness, I am free to heal everything. In the darkness, I am free to heal everything. Mm. So thinking about those times in your life. And when I say addictions, it could be anything. Like, it could be addicted to a certain type of food, addicted to shopping, addicted to spending money, addicted to a certain person, a toxic relationship. When I look at this card, I get that, definitely get that sense. For anybody that's been in a relationship with a narcissist, that's the energy of the devil. And then when you finally take your power to, like, leave that relationship, leave those addictions, and heal from them. All right. Oh gosh, it's been an hour. Well, I'm taking longer today than I did this last night, and I thought I would do it faster today. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's go. 16. 16, the tower. um, so Melissa, the tower is one of your cards. I got this almost every day when we first experienced the COVID pandemic and lockdowns. Okay, yeah. the lockdowns, and that would be tower energy, definitely. So the tower, remember what I said with the hanged one? The hanged one is when you choose to make a sacrifice because you're moving towards something better for yourself. The tower energy is where you didn't choose to make the sacrifice. You held on so long until outside circumstances created the situation for you to let go. So it usually is something unexpected, something like you didn't foresee, and it's like a ground shifting, foundational shifting energy. It's like everything is being uprooted, and yeah, that sort of like lightning bolt that just like comes in a flash and changes everything. So, it can often feel like everything's crumbling around you, like everything's falling apart. It's that shifting ground. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what to believe in anymore. That like rug has been pulled out from under me. This would be the energy of like somebody who's like believes they're in like a happy, loving marriage, and then one day their spouse arrives and said, "I want a divorce." Like I haven't been happy for years, and you're like, "What?" Like, sort of that sort of foundational belief and understanding is just pulled out right from under you. Now, that's the sort of like dark side of the card. But what happens because of that, right? So getting to like the empowering piece of the tower is that when these foundations are shifting, when the world as you knew it is crumbling, that again, that's the death energy, right? What comes after the death is the rebirth. So this is like, I like to say the tower is the catalyst for transformation, right? And even though the tower energy is like something that is usually coming from outside of ourselves, something like the pandemic and lockdowns that like had no idea that was going to happen, can't really do much about it except for how you yourself react to it. And just letting that be then a catalyst for changing, for transforming, for seeing the world in a new way, for understanding yourself in a new way, building up a different structure and framework of how you see the world. That is the energy of the tower. So if this is your birth card, you may be experiencing a lot more of these in your life. And yeah, in the moment, they're difficult to deal with. But I know for the tower moments in my life that now looking back on them, like I'm grateful. I'm grateful for those because I wouldn't want to continue seeing the world that I saw it before the tower moment happened. Like I'm very grateful for where I am and how I see the world and how I see myself because of these tower moments. So, um, yeah, let's go with our affirmation. In chaos, I walk towards the brightest light. In chaos, I walk towards the brightest light. My tower moment, my big tower moment, is if you go to my YouTube channel, I did a live on here and recorded it and uploaded it there, talking about my cyclical awakening. And that's what my tower moment of my burnout and existential crisis took me from a linear way of life into a cyclical way of life. And I'm so grateful for that now. Okay, so moving on, let's move on to one of the beautiful cards, one of the most beautiful cards in the deck. We've got number 17. Number 17, the star. So the star, hope and healing, right? And I love that it comes right after the tower, right? We have our tower moment, everything falls to the ground. What gets us through? Hope, right? What gets us through those tower moments? The star. Holding on to that hope that you can make it through, that you can heal from this, that there is a renewal, right? I am being renewed. And this is having the energy of like optimism, inspiration, thinking that like the universe is working in my favor, like things are coming together for me. This is connecting with the star, that idea of like making a wish, like make a wish upon a star, and like those wishes being granted, like things are happening for you. This is also the energy of aligning with your soul purpose, like knowing like this is where I'm meant to be. This is the path I'm meant to be on. I feel like I have deep meaning and purpose when I am here, holding on to my star, and all of the light that it shines on me. So our star affirmations, the shortest one: I expect miracles. I expect miracles. Because life is a miracle, isn't it? Okay, then we go into the moon, the star, then the moon. Yeah, the moon. The moon is now like remembering this is the fool's journey, right? The fool starting at like that little baby self that didn't know anything, that was very vulnerable, naive, sort of jumping on this adventure, remembering like all of the lessons that they've gone through. This is the diving into the underworld, right? We're to that point in the journey where we're ready to dive under the water, letting the light of the moon shine upon what we are holding in our unconscious. Um, facing those stories, that might bring fear, bring anxiety, and allowing yourself to be there and just float into it. The moon also comes with this energy of like mystery, mysticism, finding symbols and metaphor, right? A lot of people, a lot of psychologists, right, that work with the subconscious, the unconscious. A lot of it is in symbols and metaphors, right? Making meaning out of the symbols that you see, and allowing that to create that story that is in your unconscious. Yes, just getting to that, Melissa. And in that space of your unconscious, like, is allowing it to come to the surface. One way is through the dreams, right? So through our dreams, we are tapping into some of those stories that are in the unconscious, but a lot of times they come in symbols, right? You wake up from a dream and you're like, that didn't make any sense. But writing that down, writing that out, and then hopefully, one day those symbols will make sense. It will make sense, like why that was coming forward for you. So having dream work and working with powerful visions, like that energy of like going through shamanic journeys and having visions, spiritual experiences, even like in meditation, like when those symbols and deeper meanings come up through that space. That's the energy of the moon. And we're far enough along in our journey that we can handle that. We can hold that and allow that to come to the surface so we can learn more about who we are. So the moon is, I trust my intuition and I float. I trust my intuition and I float. This is my birth card, and I saw 3 rainbows yesterday during a meditation. Beautiful. Yes. Make sure you're noting down all of these symbols that come through to you. Yeah, especially if the moon is your birth card. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on around you. And how that may be informing something deeper within you. Oh, it's beautiful. So we'll take that energy into the sun. So the sun is one of the most positive cards in the deck. It is, of course, just looking at it, it like brings a smile to the face. It is the energy of happiness, of joy, vitality, optimism, really like all like positive. Everything's working out positively for you. A time to like just really, lift that head, open those arms, and be grateful for everything that you have. Just really appreciating life, being recognizing that abundance energy that you have, and this energy of like feeling like I'm fulfilled, right? I found fulfillment. I just embodying that feeling that like everything's beautiful right now. That's the energy of the sun. So can you remember a time in your life where you embody this energy of the sun? Just like you were able to just like lay back and relax and enjoy life because it was beautiful. Hmm. I'm thinking about, yeah, I'm thinking about this one place that my spouse and I went to in Bali, and ah, like it was just like a perfect day. Just like a beautiful perfect day, being in nature, floating in the lagoon, like ah, it was beautiful. It was a sun day. So think about those times, hold on to those times in your life. So our affirmation: in wholeness, I shine like the sun and I am happy. In wholeness, I shine like the sun and I am happy. All right, we've got two more. Two more. Moving further along in our journey. We've got number 20, judgment. Number 20, judgment. I don't think oh, this is one of yours, Sib. Excellent. I don't really like the name of it because, yeah, I don't really know exactly why, but the name, I wish there was a different name. I'll see if I can think of one, but, the idea of judgment, read the reverse meaning. So yeah, I don't read reverse unless I feel my intuition guiding me to read the reverse. But judgment is this idea that sort of like a time collapse where past and future are integrated into present, sort of like this idea that time has no control, time has um, no meaning in this space of the judgment energy. Everything is aligned, everything is together here. And so asking yourself, like, am I aligned with who I am? This like self-realizing, like where I may be off course, and coming into that space of, this is where I want to be, and taking that step. Really like soul searching, like this is like the bigger questions of life, like who am I, why am I here, and like realizing these so that you can come into alignment of who you are, of why you are here. Sort of this energy of um a reckoning, right? So like facing up to everything that's happened in your life, everything that's happening around you, like being really transparent, right? We have this, transparent soul here, being really transparent and vulnerable and letting yourself lay bare, like laying everything out on the table. Um, so that you can come into alignment. This can also talk about like having epiphany moments, those aha moments where things are connecting, and you know that, oh, that connection means I'm coming deeper into my alignment with my soul. Things like forgiveness, forgiving yourself, forgiving others so that you can release, let go, and come into alignment. So all of that energy where you then transcend, right? Transcendence. When you can come into that alignment and just be completely who you are, that transparent, vulnerable self, just being who you are. That's when we come into the energy of judgment. Mm. So, judgment affirmation. Hello, essence. I am here to share my voice. Hello, essence. I am here to share my voice. Oh yeah, each card does have reverse meanings if you read reverse. There are people that read reverse, there's people that don't read reverse. Share my voice. Yeah. Hello, essence. I'm here to share my voice. All right, honey, I'll answer your question after our last card. Last card. We're at the end. Okay. Last card. So remember, this is the Fool's Journey, right? And so we've made it the whole way to sort of this like self-actualizing, self-realizing, coming into alignment with our soul, our spirit. We've made it the whole way through to the world, number 21. So for those of you that have been here from the very beginning, wondering like, what does my birth card number 21 mean? I know there was somebody here that had number 21. So we've got the world. The world is the end of the journey, right? But like we know of endings, there's always a new beginning. So after the world, the Fool comes back in again. Oh, Henna, it was you. Yeah. So this is like everything's come full circle. You've been able, we're looking at like these sacred geometry. It's like you have been able to integrate all of these lessons all throughout this journey. You've integrated it all and come into this place of wholeness, this place of completion, this place of knowing like I am exactly where I'm meant to be. Like all of the puzzle pieces have fit into place, and I now have a greater understanding of who I am, and I am ready for what is coming next. This is like the energy of like finishing a big project and like coming into that place of feeling like fulfillment and connection to like your soul purpose on this earth. This is wholeness again, sort of like those happy endings. So a lot of times when we're talking about, tower is like usually not happy endings with the tower energy. The world is like the endings that like make you feel whole, right? Make you feel like, ah, yes, yes, like I did it. I achieved this, yeah, just coming into that greater expansion, right? New waves of consciousness. And this can literally mean traveling the world as well. And what I talked about last night, I love the energy of, if for any of you that have traveled outside of your own culture and traveled into different places and understood those places at the level of the culture, sort of like not like the touristy areas, but like really got to know like local people, local cultures. In that way, for those of you that have done that, like, do you not feel that sense of like a greater wholeness to yourself as well? Because you're like gaining perspective on things that you never could have figured out on your own. Like you're seeing it through, you're seeing these things, you're seeing the world through somebody else's eyes, and then you get a greater understanding of who you are, because you're seeing new perspectives and understandings. So that's been one of my deepest world energies, is living in India, and how my whole worldview has been changed from living here, and just that greater expansion and understanding of who I am, because I've been able to see the world through this light in this culture. So coming into wholeness, completion, fulfillment. Our affirmation for the world: I ascend to new levels of awareness. I am love. I ascend to new levels of awareness. I am love. Henna, you've lived in 4 different countries so far. That is the world energy, definitely. Oh, I love it. Interesting. Yeah. So I'd love to hear, how did your birth card resonate with you? Even if you felt like, oh, it didn't make sense, I don't understand what that means for me in my life. Or for those of you that it does resonate, like Henna, and myself. And oh, Melissa, you were sharing as well too. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Um, who has got, I still have some time. Oh, Sid, yours resonates with 20. He didn't catch the 2. The 2 is the High Priestess. So you can look that one up. And any questions you have. This is, like I said, this is a 6-week series. This is week 2. I have the other weeks planned. I just haven't uploaded them here to Insight Timer for our sessions yet. But next week we'll be talking about the wands. So we're going to go through each 4 of the suits in the next 4 weeks. We'll go through the wands, then the cups, then the swords, then the pentacles. And we're not going to go one by one like we did today, but we'll do sort of like the overarching energies of the different suits and what they mean for us. But I'm wondering if we've got like does anybody else need me to go over the math for the, thank you, honey, that's exactly what I was going to ask. If anybody needs me to go over the math again. So, for those of you that arrived lately and want to figure out your birth card, and then you can look it up whenever you go from here. So we're going to add everything in 2 digits. So you want to have your 2-digit month, 2-digit date, and then your year split up into the first 2 digits and then the last 2 digits. So this is mine. My birthday is 03/23/1985. And so then just stack them on top of each other and add them together. When you, some of you will get just 2 digits from this, some will get 3 digits. If you have 2 digits, just add those 2 digits together to get a single digit. If you have 3 digits, add the first 2 plus the third to get 2 digits. And then from your 2 digits, add the first digit and the second digit to get the single digit. So for those of you that get the 2-digit number first, right? So my first one is 13, which is the death and rebirth card. And then adding 1 and 3 together is 4, which is the Emperor card. For those of you that get 1 digit from, you get 2 digits from here, and then you add it down to one digit here, you then have to split that. So like if I would have gotten 4, I know that 3 and 1 equal 4. So take out the 1 and then whatever the other number is. So if it was, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but if it was 6, right, it would take out the 1 and then 5. So that'd be 15. 15 and 6. If that makes sense for you. Let me know. For those of you that are figuring it out, let me know if you need help with that. Farah, I do record all of my sessions at the moment. I'm recording this one right now. I have 3 sessions at the moment that I need to edit to be able to upload, but I'm hoping to do that soon. 10 and 1. Yes, honey. So you'd have 10, the Wheel of Fortune, and 1, the Magician. Those are some great cards. For 100, yeah, so you'd do 10 plus 0, which is 10, and then 1. So you'd be the same as honey. You'd have 10 and 1. Pooja, 15 and 6. Yeah, I can't do that math in my head. The 3, 23, 19, and 60, if you added that up and it got whatever it got, if it came, it would be 15 and 6 are 2 cards together. Yeah, that's the Devil and the Lovers. So that's an interesting combination, the Devil and the Lovers. And maybe the Lovers is what brings you through that healing of the Devil when you become aware of it. Yeah, so I usually post my, so most of my work here on Insight Timer is working with cycles. So I work with the cycles of body, the menstrual cycle, and the cycles of the earth. And so those ones I'm uploading on Insight Timer and on YouTube. This tarot session, I'm not sure about yet. If people want it up here on Insight Timer, I can also upload it here as well. I just haven't, yeah, I could do that if people would find that helpful. If you'd find it helpful. Yes, if it's 105, yeah, 10 plus 5 is 15 and then 6. Beautiful. Susan Beth, hello. I get 95, so 14 and 5. Yep. 14 is temperance, and 5 is the Hierophant, the keeper of the sacred. Yeah, that's an interesting combo. That's like a very like wise, calm, peaceful energy. Definitely. Knowing that there is a greater meaning and purpose to all this, and I don't have to be bothered with the details. Seeing that bigger picture. Leah, yours is 50. So, okay, yeah. So if you got 50, that would be the one digit would be 5, and so then you need to separate the 1. So take the 1 out and then 4. So it'd be 4 plus 1 is 5. So then it'd be 14 and 5. So you would be the same as Susan Beth. Little, yeah, if you've got 21, so you've got the World card and 3, the Empress. The World and Empress. Okay, we want this session up here on Insight Timer. Great. When I edit it, I will upload it here then as well. So if you want to look up these meanings, I mean, you can Google search any of the cards and it will show you. Usually it uses the Rider-Waite's deck to connect to the tarot. That's like the most widely known deck. But if you want this deck specifically and the affirmations that I shared, because the affirmations are directly from the book, it's called the Light Seers Tarot. If you just Google search the Light Seers Tarot, you'll find the website for this deck. And I think if you scroll down the whole way to the bottom, all of the cards are at the bottom, and you can just click on your card, and then it opens up a whole page that talks about all of the energy of that card. It has the picture of it. It has the affirmation of it. The Light Seers Tarot. Yes, it's my favorite deck. Okay, Mara, yours is 19. Okay, so if you're 19, you get 3 cards. So 19, you get 19, 10, and 1. So for Mara, if you got 19, so you'd have the Sun, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Magician. All three would be your birth card. That's the only people that get three cards. Yeah. Pooja, my YouTube channel is just my name. So if you search Megan Noreen there, you'll find me. I'm the only Megan Noreen that I know. uh oh, Lima, I hope you have a good sleep. Have a beautiful sleep. Yeah. I also do sessions on menopause as well. And invite people in menopause that don't have cycles to connect to the lunar cycle. We're coming up on the full moon tomorrow. So, Lynette, how do you decide what numbers? Okay, briefly for Lynette and anybody else that came here. We're adding 2-digit month, 2-digit date, first 2 digits of the year, second 2 digits of the year. So 3, 23, 19, 85 until you get your total number. If you have 3 digits, you add the first 2 plus the third to equal a 2-digit number, and then add the first and the second digit to get a single digit. And then these 2 numbers are your birth cards. Hopefully that makes sense. Claire got 102. It becomes, so 102 would be 12 first. So 12 would be your first card, and then 1 plus 2 is 3. So you usually have 2 birth cards unless you get 19. So we have 1 birth card would be 12, and the other one would be 3. So it'd be the hanged one and the Empress. Excellent. Entering perimenopause now. Yeah, that can be a challenging. That is, there is a lot of hanged one energy in perimenopause. A lot of temperance too, if you can bring that in. The energy of just like going with the flow, letting things unfold as they are, surrendering to those things that you don't have control over, right? And letting them, just accepting how that is. Claire, the Empress card always resonated as a Cancer. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, the Emperor for me has always resonated as an Aries. Definitely. When we get into the suits, into all 4 of the suits, wands, cups, swords, and pentacles, they all align with astrology as well. So I'll be sharing a little bit more about their astrology alignments with each of those suits over the next 4 weeks. So we're going to be talking about wands next week. The Fool's Journey, honey. So the very first card, which doesn't have a number, is the Fool. So that's 0. 0 is a number, is the Fool. And so what we're talking about in the major arcana, the first 22 cards of the tarot deck, is the Fool begins a journey, right? And it's usually showing the Fool as standing at the edge of a cliff, ready to jump off into the unknown. And it's diving into this unknown that they begin their journey to move through all of these archetypal energies of the first 22 cards until they come to the end of the journey with the world, finding that place of completion and wholeness. Because they have gone through all of these trials and tribulations and beautiful things, and realize deeper and deeper who they are in every step of that journey. Yeah. Lynette, total is 105. Yep, so that'd be 10 plus 5 would be 15, and then 5 plus 1 is 6. So 15 the Devil and 6 the Lovers. Definitely. Farah, yes, thank you for being here the whole time. I hope you have a beautiful sleep. Oh, your cards are hitting home. The deck is really lovely, yes. Definitely. And because it's called the Light Seers Tarot, each card has a light version and a shadow version. And that's sort of like the upright version and the reversal version for those of you that read reversals. Um, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad that all of you were here. If you felt supported and you enjoyed this session, leaving a donation is greatly appreciated if that is on your heart to give today. And tomorrow I'll be doing full moon tarot readings. I think I'm still on the fence about it tomorrow at this time because tomorrow's holy here in India, and it's probably going to be my last holy before I move. So I don't actually know what's going to happen in our community. So either I will play holy in the morning and show up with colors on my face, um, or yeah, I'll just have to wait and see what people are doing outside and around. But there's a small chance that I might cancel before the session to play holy. So just that warning, if you clicked, you want to attend the session and then it disappears, I apologize in advance. That if I can't make it. And then, like I said, if you're following me, I'm going to be scheduling the next lives today. So click on the follow button here on Insight Timer and you'll get the notification for our upcoming, when we go through the minor arcana. We'll be doing wands next week. So, um, oh yes, and St. Patrick's Day in Ireland. Beautiful. I live in Kolkata. Yeah, I don't mind sharing. I live in Kolkata. Yeah. And like Holi wasn't because of pandemic. I wasn't here for Holi in 2020, but I was last year in 21. And it wasn't like a big deal because of pandemic. There wasn't a lot of like people out and around. So I don't know how it's gonna look this year. So just gonna wait and see. Wait and see what people are doing out and about. But it's usually a fun time, and it is the welcoming in of the spring, or of the hot season, I guess I should say. Here we have cold season and then hot season, and so with the full moon tomorrow, we are welcoming in the hot season with lots of colors. That's what we're doing together. Um, yeah. Any other questions, reflections? I don't think we've been here a long time. I will schedule in another session that we'll do. We'll do a meditation with the major arcana energy. I was able to do one yesterday. I guess I talked more today than I did yesterday, but I will upload the recording with the meditation. We did the meditation with the Hierophant came through in our poll yesterday. So I will upload the one with that so you can at least hear that meditation on the recording. It's been lovely being with you all, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Maybe tomorrow if you come for the session. It's the same time that this one was today, so I don't know what time it is in your part of the world. It's 12 p.m. My time. So hopefully you'll be able to come and join us. And yeah, I will see you soon. Puja in Spain, yeah. So it would be in the morning, and in Europe, yeah, and the late night in the States. Okay, excellent, beautiful. All right, sending you all lots of love. Yes, sending love to New Zealand as well. Beautiful. I'm so glad you were here, and I will see you again soon.